folks that are with us today. We have the Deputy Supervisor of the Town of Amherst, Matt Marlette. We have the Chairman of the Amherst Republican Party, Carl Balmas. And from the Buffalo City School Board, former gubernatorial candidate, Carl Palladino. Very excited about Kathy's candidacy, and I think she's going to bring a fresh approach and a real fight to this race. I don't need to say it because I know Kathy will. She's never short for words. She's always says exactly what's in her mind and her heart, and that's the sort of thinking that we need back in Washington. We're swimming in red ink. This country's going in the wrong direction, and we need people that can go fix the problems. And Kathy Weppner is that person for us here in Western New York. So without further ado, our next Congresswoman from the New York's 26th Congressional District, Kathy Weppner.
I stand today before you on this beautiful sunny day here in Amherst as a candidate for the House of Representatives of the 26th District of the great state of New York. For the last week and a half, I've been waking up thinking, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? And for those of you who have listened to me for years on the radio, you know how much I love my God, I love my country, and I love Western New York, and that is why I am doing this. Today I'm offering myself up for the slaughter that we usually witness during political campaigns, in hope that in Western New York, we can, for the common good, change the debate. Recent history has proven that we can no longer go to the polls and elect professional politicians to do the work for us. We cannot stand by and allow political parties to quench their thirst for permanent power on our backs any longer. We have to start looking at political leaders kind of how we look at our Thanksgiving tables. Some are Democrats, some are Republicans, some are independents, and yet we don't treat each other like we're Al-Qaeda, because we know we're all in this boat together. Washington shouldn't be any different than that. America was built on the work ethic of immigrants, a melting pot of different ethnicities and diversity of thought. Our grandparents worked hard to rid themselves of the immigrant labels that held them back. They melted, and America thrived. Today, however, we are allowing professional politicians and the media to divide us once again, to pigeonhole us with hyphenated Americans fighting one another constantly. Meanwhile, we're watching runaway government, spending our country into economic ruin, putting our children and grandchildren into unthinkable debt. Western New York already knows we can't afford the reckless abandon with which the mandates are flying everywhere and coming down on us. We know we cannot afford to create a perfect utopia world. The people of Western New York who are struggling now don't want permanent government paychecks. They want jobs. They want the dignity of employment. They want the ladder of opportunity so they can create their success. Instead of ladders, our administration builds walls between citizens and rushes with overreaching power into our lives. Trickery and edicts that defy our laws and defy our Constitution are quickly becoming the norm. We are watching our freedoms erode in front of us daily. Instead of getting out of our way so we can prosper, our government is focused on micromanaging our lives. From your fat sugar intake to the data mining that is now going on with the Common Core curriculum. Mr. Higgins pushes for waterfront development, and those efforts have produced some good results. Waterfront trails are a beautiful addition to our Western New York scenery, but you cannot feed a family on it. Mr. Higgins strongly supports the Democrat policies and an agenda that continues to thwart job creation with massive new regulations, taxes and fees and obligations that all work to limit job possibilities for our district. Every economy in the world has limited amount of funds, just like your own budget. My dad used to say, I don't have a money tree growing in the backyard, Katie. And we don't either. We cannot grow more dollars with wishful thinking and good intentions. As a nation, we can no longer afford to sit silently and watch professional politicians spew their political math that defies our common sense and insults our intelligence. Politics is not rocket science. As proof, look to the Harvard-educated politicians in power in Washington right now, who do not understand that you cannot continue to spend what you don't have.
All right. Yeah.
Your parents and my parents taught us what their colleges did not teach them, that nothing in life is free. And every taxpayer dollar that is carelessly diverted to highly questionable theory like global warming steals from our nation's most vulnerable. Every dollar wasted on duplicative programs, fraud, and nepotism steals from our poor, our disabled, our elderly, our children's education, and our economic future. I have some questions for the voters out there. Have you noticed how high your grocery bills are rising on a weekly basis? Have you noticed how much you're paying just to put gas in your car? Has your electricity bill gone up or down? Have you kept your health care? What is your deductible like? Have you been able to keep your doctor? How is your job search going? Is 30 hours a week for you full-time employment? And can you pay your mortgage and feed your kids on 30 hours a week? Is the NSA monitoring your phone calls and emails, and who's telling them to do that? Will the IRS come for you next? How many other people whose actions you don't control can really afford to be subsidized by your family's bank account? In the face of a fragile economy and such limited dollars, can we really educate illegal aliens and prison inmates? And how will that limit our ability to take care of the elderly who built this country? Are you really comfortable with watching the little sisters of the poor be prosecuted by our government for their religious beliefs? Do you really think we should have to pass bills to know what is in a bill? We need to, we need to ask ourselves why we continually let the media pick our winners in our political races. If we as voters continue to allow a complicit or lazy media to give our politicians such comfort levels, then we deserve what we get, a nation of compliant Stepford Americans. From this day forward, I will be working very hard to earn the honor of your vote. If elected, I will honor that trust in Washington. I'm now in the process of constructing my campaign website. It will soon answer many of the questions you may have about me, but more importantly, it will let you know why we are seeing what we are seeing with the information you deserve to have. We know our economy is not thriving. We know our daily costs are soaring. As I speak, our sons and daughters are still fighting a war for us. There's major upheaval in many parts of the world, many in countries who were recently dependable allies like the Ukraine. Yet just days ago, the administration proposed to cut our defense budget to levels lower than before World War II. How can we do that? It would be easier for me to run from this. I was having a great life. It would be easier for you to look away too. But easier is not what made America a great nation. Easier does not honor the sacrifice of our troops. Easier is not what's going to save this country. So in closing, please stop and to consider the questions I ask myself when considering if I should run. Can you really afford to not get involved this time? Isn't it time for all of us to raise our hands and put a unified end to the chaos we are watching in Washington, D.C.? Are we going to stand by and watch the death of common sense? And is what we're witnessing in Washington really the best of what we have to offer? I'm willing to bet Western New York is better than that. I'm willing to run, I'm willing to work, and the rest is really going to be up to you. God bless you all, and God bless the United States of America.
You go, girl. You go, girl. God, I love her.
Are there any questions?
I was just reading over. I'm just becoming familiar with you.
Okay.
But is it correct you don't have any background as a public
None.
elected office?
None. Isn't that great?
Yes, yes.
Because all the guys with all that experience are really just doing a horrible job for us. They really are.
So you don't see that as a disadvantage?
No. In fact, I see it as an advantage. Because for some reason, and I have to believe that everybody runs with good intentions. And I don't know what happens to people in Washington. I really don't. The very first thing I did is I called someone at my church to get a spiritual mentor. I've never needed one. I've always been very close to God. But I may need one because politics is a really, really dirty game. And I'm hoping maybe we can have a different kind of politics, a different kind of political conversation here with my candidacy. And boy, I want to invite all of you here from the media to partake in that, to find issues that are important to voters, and to ask both people running, Brian Higgins and myself, call us, ask us both what our vision is for Western New York. I hope I've been in contact with so many people in Western New York for so many years, and we should have better in Washington casting votes for us. We really should.
And now you mentioned Brian Higgins as sort of one of the catalysts behind canal side redevelopment.
And it's beautiful. It is beautiful.
So why is that not so much an advantage, or not such a good thing?
When we decide to do projects like the canal side and whatnot, they are 10 and 20-year plans, and they're great. And we have a couple of cranes now on our skyline in Buffalo. One is from an avid Buffalo Bills fan, Mr. Pagula, and the other is a very long-term Colida project that they have been envisioning for many years. But we really need to bring industry to Western New York. We need people that can make things. We need to have tax policy that is conducive to bringing jobs here. And we have a lot of people that have high school graduations and GEDs, and they can't be left out of it. We need to have the dignity of all kinds of jobs to offer Western New York. So although it's really nice to have those activities and possibilities on the waterfront, we need actual jobs that people can set their alarms to and get up in the morning and come back knowing they've put in a hard day's work. And our immigrants, my grandfather had 3 jobs. Nobody was feeling sorry for him and trying to figure out how he could work less. They were trying to figure out how they could work more. And that's what we need to bring back to make this area prosperous.
Kathy,
and I hope to do that.
in your opening line, you said something about basically the slaughter. Do you
Yes.
expect to lose?
No, I expect to be slaughtered in the press. That's what I expect to be slaughtered. I expect everyone to read false things about me. I hope over the last 8-9 years on the radio that people know exactly who I am, and they won't believe that. But no, I expect to happen what's happened in every race. I expect probably never to be mentioned in the press again, at least not the couple months leading up to the election, so that people don't even know that Brian Higgins is running against somebody. I expect lots of podium press conferences down on the waterfront that will be covered by everybody, that Brian Higgins always has, and other politicians. That's what usually happens. But I'm asking you all to do something different this time, because what we've done in the past is not working in Washington, and it's not working for us either. We need to do better this time, and we need to honor all the people that have stuck it out here in Western New York. A lot of people have moved away. A lot of people have moved away. But the people that stay here because they love it here. They love the people here. And we need to honor them by doing better by them and giving them the information that they need leading up to elections.
Now, if you are elected, I know it's still early on, but do you have anything that you would kind of put as your number one priority that you would start working on right away?
Jobs, 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 jobs. The only way out of the incredible debt that these professional politicians have put us in is a thriving economy, is a robust economy that has more people paying into the system. We have less than half Americans are working today. Less than half. That's not going to work. The math doesn't work anymore. We have to get our country back to work.
I suggest you get on the waterfront, take a picture of the waterfront on your camera, then go over on the east side and take a picture. The city is dying.
Yeah.
If you don't put life back in the city, nothing will last. The suburbs, we're dumping our money into the city. The waterfront is beautiful. The city is dying. There'll be nobody left to go to the water.
That's right.
There you go.
Absolutely right.
There you go.